Welcome, everybody, to our, well, I don't know what number it is in terms of our esoteric astrology workshops, but there have been quite a number. And this is our 30th conference. And the theme is Initiation Fire from Heaven. Should be of interest to everybody. DK thought so when he wrote his first book, Initiation Human and Solar. A great book to which one must always return to get the answers to the questions posed in the later books. You know what I mean? It's a lesson in humility. Oh, back there. All right. Right. I did that one already, didn't I? Okay. So it's a marvelous subject. It involves the potential of danger, of course, not only from fire, but from egotism. You know, you get rather wrapped up in what initiation you are holding, and then your personality grabs hold of that, and before you know it, you're nowhere near, you know. So, but we'll try to discuss those dangers and the great opportunities that are involved, and the amazing role that esoteric astrology and rayology can play in helping us understand what lies before us, what our equipment is, and the good that we can achieve by using our chart, both astrological chart and ray chart, in the proper manner, whatever that is. You know, whatever that is for us. We have to decide ourselves. So this is our first meditation. Basically what we're going to do this morning is have this alignment, a bit of a meditation, to think generally about things. Then we're going to hand out such charts as we do have, and then probably quietly, you know, the people who are missing their charts because their names were not on the list or their data was not on the list will come over here and put your name and data right there, okay? Then I will offer a kind of a lecture dealing with the zodiacal signs and their potentials at 9 initiations. Yes, all in 1 hour. No, don't worry about it. We may not go any further than mastership, which is, of course, in sight. All right, so then there will be that. Then we will have a well-deserved break, and then we'll get into small groups, and we'll be looking at the initiatory potentials in your astrological chart from the sign angle, from the constellation angle. Later in the day, there will be lectures. 3 of them or 4 of them, I forget, but among those lectures at night, will be Francis, who will be talking about the astrology of the initiatory indications of the planets, and that will set us up for the next day. So we'll move from the signs to the planets, and then on our last day we'll all be getting together to look at our astrological charts from that perspective with all humility, an adjusted sense of right proportion. You know how it goes. Let us all be balanced in how we assess ourselves and our potentials, and we won't go astray. All right, so this is our alignment. Don't worry about hot or cold now. Don't worry about anything. Turn your cell phones off. And if I cough and sound like I'm dying, I am getting better, I promise, okay? So, let us quiet down outwardly and inwardly. Let our breathing be regular. And we'll pull back as a unit of consciousness. We'll pull back from the outer form, first from the etheric physical. It's our instrument, but it's not what we are in the short term. And we pull back, abstract from our emotions, our feelings, our attractions and repulsions. We have these feelings, but they are not what we are from the soul perspective. Each time a deepening sense of what we may be, the many thoughts running through our minds, the words, the images, all of that is part of the mental vehicle, but we are not that. We're behind it, within it. The observer of it. What are we then? In our usual state, we are the soul in incarnation. We are the observing consciousness, at the root of which is life, being, reality. And when these normal vehicles fade away from our attention, a new world enters, something new to observe, the world of light, the world of love, the world of the great urge to sacrifice, sacrificial will. And it all comes together in a perception of synthesis, actually later, an identification as the great isolated unity, the great synthesis. So, when we think and when we attempt to intuit, we're really very open and receptive to the world in which we more really live, the world of the higher mind and beyond, the world of the soul. Just open your consciousness for a moment to all those, your imagination of all those higher worlds. Almost endless, but finite, but still all those higher worlds. That one day you will be polarized within. Apparently 10 great planes and super planes and super planes beyond and beyond worlds, in which we are just in the very lowest world, very lowest dimension. And all of that, all those worlds are cosmic fire. And very gradually, during the course of this outer and inner universe, which will last, there's no way to, well, there's a figure, 311 trillion, 40 billion years, and that's just a solar system. So what is the figure that will tell of the duration, inner and outer, of our universe? All of these energies from these higher dimensions will one day be pouring through us. Only the us that we are will be very different. We will recognize that we are these energies, in fact. So nothing but expansion and deepening and realization of your true nature lies ahead of you, no matter how tough things may seem right now. And that's the path of initiation. This journey into ever greater intensities of cosmic fire. But we start out small because we are relatively very low emanations of the One, at least in our present self-chosen ring pass knot. So, beginning where you are, or where we are, excuse me, beginning where we are, for those of you who've been into astrology, you think of your astrological chart, or at the very least of your sun sign, which no doubt you know, or maybe also your ascending sign, sun and ascending sign, or the whole chart if you have it in your mind. And ponder a little bit about, let's say, the normal way these signs are interpreted, but leave that quickly and think about the way in which these energies of the great constellations can bring in much higher energies into our life. Energies from beyond themselves and even their own energies. Just ponder upon some of the higher meanings of the signs that are most prominent in your life. Sun sign, rising sign, other things. These are initiatory energies that can help bring you into new worlds of consciousness, of being, of livingness. So we'll take a few moments. And you know, if these higher energies really began to pour into your life, really, into this incarnation, let's say, what could be the difference in your present incarnation compared to how you're living it now? What improvement would there be if these initiatory energies could really make a new world for you right here and now? That's the important thing, to know how you can use the higher sides, aspects of your most prominent astrological factors in order to enter into new worlds of consciousness and realized being. Let's try to realize that every sincere disciple, which means every real disciple, is being trained for one initiation or another. And the important thing is to know what initiation it might be and why, without any personality reaction, be it pride or disappointment or dejection, without any of that stuff. What is it that we're being trained for, whether in this life or a few lives ahead? Is it the birth of the Christ in the heart, the first initiation? Just because we're interested in spiritual things doesn't mean we've taken the first great monastic initiation, the birth of the Christ in the heart. We may have, maybe not. Is it the second initiation, the baptism in the River Jordan, the great purification that demands mental illumination and spiritual intelligence? Is it perhaps more rarely the third initiation of transfiguration or true enlightenment, the Satori, the real awakening? Doesn't make any difference what initiation it is. It's got to be one of those three for people like ourselves. And you've been through it all before and before and before. This is just another universal experiment. So it's best to be realistic, truthful, accurate, objective. You're in training. And the fastest way to complete that training is to deal with it truthfully. So, resolve in your consciousness to learn all you can about the energies in your chart. And of course, equally as important, the rays connected with the astrological energies. So I can take the next practical step towards the utilization of these available energies. Right utilization. So you can advance towards the next initiation with the great service purpose of helping others on their path more effectively. Resolve in your consciousness that you will do this. Because if you want it for yourself, you'll never get it. Excuse me. So we will say together the great invocation, or if you don't know it by heart, then just think along with it. And we will get into our 3-day adventure dealing with these available energies and trying to make the most of them from the initiatory perspective. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. from the center, which we call the race of men. Let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Thank you. I'll just ask you to spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes talking quietly to someone near you about any thoughts that may come to you about astrology and initiation. And meanwhile, we'll be passing out your charts to you. Then we'll begin the morning academic side. Okay. So. My arm was not that long. All right, so just take a look at what wasn't done and okay, everybody, this is it now. Absolutely, yeah. We know what it is. We know the story. If there are mistakes. Okay, everybody, may I have your attention now, please? I'm going to have to use the bell if things don't work out. All right. This is not the original, you know. The original is at home. I should have taken the original. But all right, new red bell. Quality not the same, nor the history. So here's what we're going to do. Some of you in a state of semi-blindness need a big chart. We'll provide that for you. Others of you maybe have noticed wrong data. Some simply don't have charts, and others who have charts are just not here. So when you are meeting in your small groups, we'll be running that stuff. So you don't go up first with your astrologer, who will be helping you look for things. And we'll try to get that to you, I think we will, before the session is over. We may not be able to get you both charts if you want both, but we'll be able to get you at least something that your guiding astrologer can help you with. And then you'll have it also for tomorrow's activities. You know, we have first of all, I'd like the astrologers who are going to be assisting you to stand up, please. Okay. Francis, you are among them. And they're halfway up. No, you're there. And so, you know, Nicholas from Sweden, Elena from Slovakia, Philip from all over, Heidi from California, Eva from Toronto, Kathy from New York, BL, Florida, is it? Okay, BL from Florida, Francis from New Mexico, Jeff, did you stay? Yeah, Jeff from New Zealand. Right. Okay. All right. There's a place for you, but you can sit anywhere you like. Okay. Anyway, these people in ones and twos will be gathering the groups together, and you'll be sharing your insights together for about an hour and 15 minutes. You know, not a long time for everybody, but you know, enough to get started. And then you'll be thinking about it overnight, and you'll come back for the planets tomorrow, and you'll be initiated on Sunday. Okay. We like the fast path, right? You know, even full of glamour and illusion, but at least we're somewhere. Okay. Just getting there, that's it, you know. Forget the journey. All right. So you see all of these lectures we're going to be having from our astrologers, very interesting things, and they will be over the next few days. Etheric body from BL, signatures of the initiations and the charts of DK's disciples, part 1 from Elena. She'll be offering during the workshop part 2, you know, and first 3 initiations with examples of disciples. Eva, the mystery of the 4 and the 5, and it is a mystery indeed. And Francis, opportunity and illumination, planetary influence on initiation, or influences, and that will be tonight. Jeff, Christ's Beatitudes and the 7 Rays. Heidi, Venus and the realization of beauty. Kathy, the fluid areas. What does she mean? All right. Nicholas, astrology and initiation, or whatever Nicholas decides it'll be. And Philip, the initiations of Krishnamurti. Okay, now I think, and as far as today goes, as I said, first I'll talk about the signs a little bit, and then your small group work in which you can think about such things as a realistic view of initiatory potentials. All true disciples are being prepared. And with realism, I keep on emphasizing this, with realism and humility, what do I think of the way in which the zodiacal energies in my chart point towards initiatory potentials, either now or in the next few lives. We'll keep it reasonable. Well, you know, when in DK, when someone was being prepared for the second initiation, it didn't necessarily mean now. It could be a couple of times ahead and he still being prepared. So let's look at it that way. How am I using the signs of the zodiac to build towards the possibility of initiation? What zodiacal energy or energies do I think I need to build towards my next initiation? And what should be my approach to the energies in my astrological chart if I'm to succeed in doing this? Especially today, the zodiacal energies, later the planetary. And are there any symbols or images which will help me to do this? Ponder for a few minutes. So you've got some things to think about when you're in your small groups, and I'll leave this up on the board here, or whatever it is. The astrologers will pay absolutely no attention to it, but it'll be there. So you remind them, okay? All right.